Popular legend has it that the Dalta and all non-human races on Eamhna descended from man. It is no secret that a kenning can, at least temporarily, make a person stronger, faster, hardier, or even improve their memory. The Magisters doubtlessly used magic in this way to enhance the abilities of their servants when it suited them. In some cases, either through purposeful experimentation or as an accidental side effect of repeated generational exposure to a specific set of kennings, some of their servants began to physically change. While humans look on the other races of Eamhna with at least some sense of commiseration or pity, the Dalta rarely received the same consideration. They were used primarily as laboratory and research assistants, and the fact that they were always so close at the Magister's sides has led to the sentiment that they were either favored servants or even collaborators with their arcane masters. But visit a scriptorium or library, and any hard-used novitiate or scribe's apprentice can attest that work under a harsh master is a heavy yoke, whatever the profession. Your average adult stands 2 handspans shorter than most men. They are lean and rangy, but often closer in weight to their manling counterparts than one might imagine. With their relatively poor constitutions, they might not be able to carry heavy loads for hours on end, but they can perform feats of strength nearly as impressive as any man's, and ones of unmatchable speed in the dire moments where it's needed. Their true strength, however, lies between their ears. Their large heads, dominated by those wide-set, almost bug-like eyes, are capable of recording information as faithfully as any law clerk. Adult can commit new information to memory in half the time that most human scholars can, and can rattle off passages from books they haven't read in years as if they were sitting right before them. Just as with all things, however, their talents do not come without their drawbacks. The Dalta seem incapable of retaining most information, even memories of their own lives, beyond a 5 to 8 year window. They also struggle to recall anything that they did not deem important at the time it was imparted to them. So while a Dalt could recall word for word an important lecture they heard years ago, they might have no memory of a rumor that they'd overheard in a tavern only hours ago. The Dalta have a voracious drive to learn, study, and memorize. They are on average serious-minded and task-driven. Stranding a Dalt with nothing to do or study has much the same effect as socially isolating a human and can leave lasting scars in their psyche. They are often mischaracterized as aloof or dour because of their difficulty remembering casual details or because they make very little effort forming bonds of kinship with others. While the Dalta are quick to adapt and change their career or area of study as the need arises, perhaps the still human part of them feels a sense of wrongness in attaching to communities or people that they may entirely forget if they do not intend to stay in one place. Dalta also have a tendency to act impulsively when they have an instinct and can hold a dormant grudge long after memory fades. While they are incapable of retaining memories beyond a certain amount of years, they are capable of remembering the feelings associated with important memories or strong reactions they had in the past. A Dalt might not remember their son who's been away for years, but she would likely feel a sense of warmth associated with maternal care upon being reunited by chance. In the same vein, she might not remember being badly bitten by a dog 10 years prior, but her instincts would continue to warn her away from the beasts for the rest of her life. When experiencing this phenomena, the Dalt have a saying, "There's history here." Of Dalta culture, regrettably little is known, but they tend to live in tight-knit communities that dot the outskirts of the dense woodlands often associated with the sites of Magister ruins. They aren't as social as their human cousins, but not by a large margin. They prefer small villages with dwellings that are within earshot of their neighbors, but not necessarily within view. Most Dalta choose not to venture beyond the forest they call home, and when they do, it's usually because they cannot find a trade or area of study they're satisfied devoting themselves to within their villages. Out in the world, Dalta are very rare, but, despite any prejudice, can almost always secure apprenticeships as architects, ledger masters, scholars, or any number of academically inclined professions. As a rite of passage, any child raised in a Dalta settlement has their torso tattooed with an intricate web of constellations. This tattoo, if decoded, can lead a Dalt to their home settlement in any season. It's a method of last resort so a Dalt can find their way home if they feel a calling. Most Dalta hold these tattoos in almost religious reverence. It is considered something of an obligation to assist a fellow Dalt fallen on hard times to interpret their constellation map and give reasonable aid in sending them home.